Welcome back to The Purpose Works, and I'm Jane Lauderback. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to delve into pivotal questions that many of us are grappling with these days. And the first one we're going to tackle is, do you tell your boss about burnout, that you have burnout? And it's a question that we hear so often, particularly as we're in these very high-pressure organizations where the culture is driven by or defined by immediacy, how quickly you can return a phone call, how quickly you can respond to a customer. And so everyone is suffering in situations like this in these highly dynamic organizations because we're afraid to take on the issue, to address it, because we don't want people to think that we're not quite cutting it. Burnout, as many of you know, is characterized by excessive or prolonged stress. It often permeates not only in your professional life, but seeps into your personal life, into your social life. What's interesting, again, not surprising for many of us, is 89% of workers today have experienced burnout, more so than in the past year. And the numbers are not any different if you're working exclusively from home. So before you think about talking to your manager and talking about having that sort of very candid conversation, take a look first inside of yourself, do some introspection, and take a look at the emotional issues that maybe you're facing, the specific factors that may be contributing to your burnout. Many times burnout is linked to either exhaustion, a sense of self-doubt, maybe dissatisfaction with your current circumstances, or just simply insufficient time to really fulfill the pursuits that you want to have outside of work. And so having that self-reflection allows us to also know, therefore, then what do we want from our company or even from our managers? If we don't know yourself what the issues are, how do we know really what to ask for? And by the way, studies show too that burnout many times is not because we're overworked, it's because we're unacknowledged. It's not that we need necessarily the pat on the back, and that's always great, but it's knowing really, are we doing the right thing? Are we making the right contribution? When we're not together in the office, we can't see and feel kind of how we are doing. We're in a meeting together, we walk out the door, it's the conversation at the elevator that we get a sense for, or someone stops by, that we get a sense for how well that we are doing. So now that you have some clarity, two essential factors you need to think about. The first one is, what kind of response do you want from your manager? And the second one, if you do share this information with your manager, is it going to actually create another roadblock? Will they be empathetic? Will they think that, gee, if you're burnout, maybe we shouldn't give you that promotion or give you that great big project? And so that become a problem for you rather than sort of a clearing of the air. So as you think about if you want to tell your manager or not, you really sort of step back and say, one, am I taking care of myself and doing all that I can? How much of this is the responsibility? And often it is the responsibility of your employer or the organization. How do you want to share that? And if you're feeling something, if you're feeling burnout, it's highly likely that other people, your colleagues, other leaders, they're feeling it too. And so what do we all need to do to identify how we need to at least take the small steps as a starting off point to really begin to alleviate some of the extra pressure and the extra burnout that we're all feeling? It's really a responsibility for all of us, not just ourselves, that we really need to address this issue because it is so strong and it's really impacting it's impacting our well-being and everything else around us. As we think about how we want to handle our own burnout, it's really sort of a shared sense of accountability and responsibility. One, for ourselves, two, as an organization, as leaders within that organization, and also how do we want to share this with other people as well? We all know that if we're feeling burnout, so is everybody else. And how can we support one another through this process? So as we explore the question, just think about this. What would it look like if we just somehow made it a little easier or a little simpler? Start there. And when we start at these micro steps, we actually begin to see sort of a pathway to getting to where we want to go. If you found this video of value, please share it with others. We always welcome your comments, and we look forward to seeing you at The Purpose Works.